And I'm delighted to say the Queen's Park Rangers owner, Tony Fernandes, joins us live from Loftus Road right now. Good afternoon to you, Tony.
Afternoon, Jeff.
I'm surprised to find you there and not in the pub as yet, because I've been reading a lot that you're going to be touring the local pubs to meet the fans. Is that right?
I am, straight after this interview.
What's the idea behind that, Tony?
No, the idea is, I love people. I love the fans. They've been fantastic. And, you know, I want to get to know people. And there's lots to learn. Guys have been coming to QPR for the last 35 years. And I think that it's fair enough for them to ask me questions as well. So that's the idea. And I might get a few drinks. hopefully paid for, because I've got no more money left after the transfer window.
No, absolutely. We'll come to that very shortly. But, you know, crash course in football club ownership for you, really. Are you managing to enjoy it despite the results?
You know, I've enjoyed everything apart from the results. It has been a crash course. I was just talking to some of the press and say the learning curve has been like, you know, like this. But I'm learning. I'm enjoying that part, and I know what we have to do in terms of putting a right infrastructure in place. It's like building a house. You've got to have a good foundation. From there, the house becomes a lot better. But if you don't have a good foundation, you're always going to struggle. So that's what I'm doing with my other shareholders in putting the right blocks in place so that the future of QPR is a good one and a stable one.
Of course, highly publicised change of manager, Neil Warnock out, Mark Hughes in. A lot of Queen's Park Rangers fans might have expected, you know, an immediate impact from Mark Hughes. Were you expecting that immediate impact, or is it a longer-term project?
Well, I think that the two answers in that question, yes. I mean, I think Mark did make an impact. We beat Wigan quite convincingly. Unfortunately for him, you know, we've struggled to keep 10 players on the pitch. And so he hasn't been judged properly. You know, we were cruising against Wolves, 1-0, had a sending off. And, you know, we've had a lot of bad luck since then. So let's see. But, I mean, this is a long-term project. And that's what I keep telling the fans. That's what I keep telling, you know, Phil and the office staff, that Rome isn't built in a day. And my resolution, along with the other shareholders, that this is a long-term project and we'll get it right.
Tony, are you the sort of owner who wants to have his say, maybe go to the training ground or the dressing room and say, look, boys, we need to keep 11 men on the field?
No, because no one's going to listen to me. I might as well be the manager then. You know, I mean, they may be polite and they may nod, but let's be real. That's why we have Mark Hughes there, and that's why we have the backroom staff. My job is to provide the infrastructure and the right blocks for them to operate in the most efficient way. But there's no point in me going and telling the players what to do. That's Mark's job.
Can I ask you, Tony, what were the reasons behind Neil Warnock leaving the club?
I mean, it was very tough, and I'm not going to go through it all on camera, but Neil did a super job bringing QPR in. As I learnt more and more, I just felt Mark was a longer-term solution for where we wanted to go over the next, you know, 5 years. And that's why we brought in Mark. But it was a very, very tough decision because, you know, had I been here maybe earlier, things may have been different if we had been involved in the summer, in the transfer window. But you make your choices and you live or die by it. And I have to say, right now, I still believe we made the right choice in bringing Mark in.
With the timing of bringing Mark in, Tony, did you feel that you had to spend more hastily than perhaps you would have liked in that transfer window?
Without a doubt. I mean, you know, the choice was you either bring in a new manager before the transfer window or forget doing it at all. I don't believe it would have been wise to have done it after the transfer window. So, yes, and I think that's a very important part of building this club. It's not just about bringing in players. We're going to have to develop the academy. We're going to have to develop youth teams and bring players through. Everything I've done, from building an airline to the Formula One team, we started at the driver development in Caterham. We've built an academy for AirAsia when we only had 6 planes. It's much better bringing players through than just spending money. I like players who have QPR in their blood.
Does that apply, Tony, even in the worst case scenario, you know, that you were relegated this season?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, my first game I watched up in the director's box, we lost 4-0. And I'm a realist. R stands for realist as well. But if you build anything, you've got to put those right blocks in places. And whether we're in the Championship or whether in the Premier League, we need a decent training ground. We need a good youth structure. We need good backroom staff and medical facilities. So we're undeterred by, you know, relegation if it does happen, and hopefully it doesn't. And I'm confident we have the players to avoid that. But, you know, luck has conspired against us so far, and hopefully we'll make our own luck starting from today.
Tony, it seems that everyone at Queen's Park Rangers are great lovers of Twitter. Of course, we've got Joey Barton. We've heard a lot from him during the course of the season. But you like the odd tweet as well. What's your thought behind that?
Look, I mean, I'm a big believer in freedom of speech and allowing people to interact. I'm never going to meet all 19,000 fans, but it gives an opportunity for fans to interact, to give their views, both negative and positive. And, you know, I don't shy away. I don't just retweet the positive ones. I've retweeted guys who've been fairly abusive. But I think it's all about transparency. I think the more transparency we have in football, the better. And the more interaction, the better for the fans. So I'll do my bit. It's a small bit, but I'll do it.
Smashing. We know, Tony, it's a difficult run-in. Lots being made of the number of, you know, the big clubs that you've got to come. So I suppose today, home to Everton, tough side, but a massive game for you.
Yeah, I mean, every game. I mean, the one thing I've learned in the Premier League is that every game is a tough game. There's no easy game, and I dare say that's for everyone, whether you're in the top or not. You know, Manchester United lost to Blackburn, so I think every game is an important game, and every game is a big game. So, but you know, we beat Everton away from home when I thought we would get hammered. So who knows? Football is a wonderful game, and that's the beauty of football, that anything's possible. And even though we have a hard run-in, we've got the players that if we keep all 11 on the pitch, which is kind of prerequisite, and we have our best players available, I really do believe we can give most people a run. And you know, everyone we've lost to, we've only lost by a goal, and that's been a frustrating thing. So let's hope we have a little bit of luck today.
Brilliant. Tony, very much enjoyed your honesty today as well. If you just wait there for a few minutes, I'll come and join you on that tour of the pubs, OK?
Great. And I hope you buy me one. Remember, I spent all my money, as you kept saying.
Actually, suddenly, I can't make it, Tony.
All right, we'll get the QPR fans to buy you one.
Yeah, good stuff. Tony, thanks for joining us. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it very much. Bye.
Brilliant.